couple of prayers. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavadhitamastu, ma vidyushavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Satchidananda Rupaya Vishwotpatti Hedave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Numaha Shri Krishnaya Vayam Numaha. Dhyana Moolam Guror Murti Puja Moolam Guror Padam Mantra Moolam Guror Vakyam Moksha Moolam Guror Kripa Moksha Moolam Guror Kripa. The last 4 days, 4 evenings, we were engaged in a dispassionate discussion on the future of India, a vision for India. That was what our theme. And I requested you to take some time off your busy schedule. I know we all are busy with your own problems, personal, professional, family, financial problems. So you don't have the time. Your mind is very crowded. You don't have the leisure to discuss on the future. You are so much involved in the present. But we are compelled to do that, because when we think of our children, grandchildren, we have to do that. That's our investment in the future, to think and create models and ideas. So the entrepreneurial youngsters can pick up those models and ideas and work on that, dedicate their life and work on that. So it's our duty to spend some time. This is a disinterested discussion. At the same time, very passionate discussion. A detached, passionate discussion. So what is the future of India? What kind of India you want? What kind of India where you will be comfortable, you can realize your full potential as an individual and as a community. As a community, we are Hindus. As an individual, you have your own talents and needs and aspirations and desires. So what kind of India you would like, where you, your children and grandchildren can find their full potential, realize their full potential. That's what we are discussing. So in this discussion, we brought a few interlocutors or protagonists. They are Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Patel, Ambedkar, Jinnah, sometime Tagore. We brought all these interlocutors, protagonists. They debated each other. We evaluated them from the present standpoint. We are looking back into history and we are trying to learn some lessons from history. And we found Gandhi was lacking. His vision was so broad. It was difficult to be practiced in this geographical limit. He spoke to the whole humanity for eternity. Gandhi spoke to the whole humanity for eternity. He was so broad. And we also found he lacked a geostrategic vision. As a result of that, we lost Pakistan and Bangladesh. The Punjab, most of the Punjab we lost. And our civilization, the cradle of our civilization was Punjab. We lost it. Similarly, the Sindhu Valley, we lost it. So Mahatma Gandhi's lack of geostrategic vision ended in the lost valuable estate for us, valuable territory to us. Similarly, Jawaharlal Nehru, though he was the founding father of Indian Republic, democracy, secularism, and the rest of it, he also lacked a geostrategic vision. As a result of that, he lost half of Kashmir, he lost Tibet, he lost Aksai Chin, 75,000 square miles, and he lost the war with China. He was not prepared. He thought China was his good friend. And he forgot the Chanakya's lesson, your neighbor is your worst enemy. Neighbor's neighbor can be your friend. So he didn't have that vision. Though he had some good qualities, but he lacked on certain other aspects, so we lost valuable real estate to China. He lost the war with China. Similarly, we looked at Ambedkar. Ambedkar was so much focused on the Dalit issues, so that he could not think about the whole spectrum of Hindu society. And he did a valuable role in framing our constitution and putting enough provisions for the safety and the security of the Dalits and for their prosperity. He did a good work in that, but he also lacked because of this preoccupation. Though he was highly qualified person, he had a PhD in economics, he had a PhD in sociology, and he had a law degree. He was a highly qualified person in the Nehru's cabinet. But because of his emotional attachment and preoccupation with the Dalit issues, he lost the larger vision for India. And finally, he declared, I was born as a Hindu, but I don't want to die as a Hindu. That is a very tragic statement. You are born as a Hindu, I don't want to die as a Hindu. And he did fulfill his wish by getting converted into Buddhism. Not that Buddhism is alien to India. Buddhism is the daughter of India. Hinduism is the mother. Sometimes successful daughters turn against mothers. They don't want to say that this is my mother. So therefore Buddhism now doesn't claim that I am the mother of Hinduism. Buddha studied Upanishad. Buddha was a Kshatriya, Hindu Kshatriya. And he withdraws into the forest and comes out to this new idea, where he talks about Kshanikavada, Shunyavada and all that. So Ambedkar converted into Buddhism. In another 3 weeks he died. Maybe that was a shock to him. He felt uprooted. And he just passed away. So Ambedkar also was a failure in that sense, in creating the new India. So Gandhi failed, Nehru failed, Ambedkar failed. Patel was not a theoretician. Patel was an action-oriented person. He is more interested in action, not theorizing. And a statesman without a theory cannot visualize the future. Mere action is not enough. You must have a strategy so that you can have a tactics. Patel was a tactician, not a strategist. He was a man of action, not a visionary. As a result of that, he could not convince others of his ideas because he has no theorizing ability. He wrote little, very little. Well, Nehru wrote volumes upon volumes. Glimpse of world history, discovery of India, and autobiography, and then the letters from a father to the daughter, all those things. Valuable ideas are there. Nehru had a grand vision about things, but lacked geostrategic vision. Geostrategic vision he was lacking because he had a basic dislike for military people. So he kept the military from the discussions away. He quarreled with Cariappa, he quarreled with Timaya, he quarreled with all those military people. He kept them at an arm's length. Whereas in discussing politics and economics and strategy, you must include army people. They have ideas. They are the one who defend the borders of the nation. This is what happens in America. Army generals participate in strategic discussions. Here we don't allow them. Here an IAS officer decides. And he has no idea. He only knows how to ask questions. And when somebody answers, and he follows that. IAS officers have no brain. Sorry for saying that. Because they only ask. One IAS officer was telling me, Swamiji, I don't know anything. I keep asking questions. Whatever answers I get, I shuffle them and try to find out a solution out of them. So they are these kind of putting ideas borrowed from others, cut and paste people. They don't have fundamental ideas. Because they are very, tradition is serving the powers, those who are in power. ICS officers were recruited to serve the British people. Then from there came the IAS officers. So they don't have much vision. So the idea that I was discussing is, we discussed about Nehru's contribution, Gandhi's contribution, Patel's contribution, Ambedkar, and finally we came to Chanakya. Chanakya has got a vision. Chanakya's vision was the Chakravarti Kshetra. Chakravarti Kshetra includes, as we have seen, Afghanistan, Bhutan, Nepal, Tibet, Myanmar. Myanmar means Lanka. Myanmar means Burma. Burma's national scripture is called Yamayana. Yamayana means Ramayana. Ya and Ra, Abheda. Instead of saying Ramayana, they say Yamayana. Their hero is Rama. So therefore, Burma was part of us. And Burma's river is called Airavati. Airavati is a sister of Airavata. Airavata, the white elephant which arose from the churned Milky Ocean. So we have intimate connections with the Burma. But we lost. British people knew this. British people brought all these states together under one umbrella. They knew India's stability depended upon bringing all those states together. Burma came under Burmese war. Britain brought Burma under their control. Afghanistan war, they brought Afghanistan under control. Sikh war, he brought the Sikh territories under control. And Deccan war, he brought Deccan territories under control. So they made such campaigns to bring all these states under the control of one state. British people are geostrategist people. They got great strategy. And we lost that tradition also. Before the British people, Akbar had that strategy. Akbar brought all these states under his control. He also had campaigns in Tibet to keep Tibet as a neutral state. And Afghanistan was, of course, under his control. Chandragupta Maurya was an emperor who had all these states under his control, except the deep South India. South India, nobody bothers anyway. They are poor people, they are important people. You, whatever the majority goes, wherever the majority goes, they go. So they never bother. The real India is in the Indo-Gangetic plain. The Punjab, Gangetic, Bihar, Burma, all those, that's the real India. So we are going back to Chanakya to create a vision for the future. And Chanakya's idea of Chakravarti Kshetra and the Vijigishu. Vijigishu is a conqueror. I want to conquer. I want to establish my power. You can be a business Vijigishu. Look at Ambani. He conquered everything, isn't it? All the 6 airports are under control now. Why not? If you are in business, you must be like that. You must be the first, not the second. You must have the fire in the belly. Don't feel jealous of him. Why don't you do it? No, I cannot do. But Ambani should not do. Adani should not do. Adani, sorry. I cannot do, but I don't let anybody else do it. You see, you must promote this entrepreneurial spirit. Private people. Private people alone can bring new ideas, new solutions, new product, new services. Government people cannot do. I already told you, IAS people cannot do that. If you put an IAS man in top of an industry, that industry, be sure that industry will collapse. Because they have no idea. They only know how to ask questions. So you need an engineer, you need a businessman, you need a thinker, you need an entrepreneur who can think originally, who can think boldly, who can take risks, who can take the bull by the horns. So to politicians. Politicians should not be just thinking of getting votes. Politicians should think of how to expand the landmass, how to expand the GDP. That is what politicians should think. Chanakya says politicians, the statesman should be always in a state of war. Not be satisfied with what you have already. You must be able to acquire more and protect it and acquire more. Sampadhanam, Rakshanam and Vardhanam. That Vardhana aspect is not there. So if you start a company, don't stay with that. I have 10 people, I am satisfied with that. Because I am a spiritual person. And spirituality says be satisfied with the minimal things. Chanakya doesn't agree with that. That spirituality is a useless spirituality. So Chanakya gives importance to wealth. Wealth creation is very, very important. He says if you have no wealth, you have no dignity, you have no respect, nobody will respect you. If you have wealth, everybody will respect you. This is what Panchasandra says. This is what Chanakya says. And that is what your experience also. After retirement, nobody respects you, isn't it? Nobody respects. Not even your wife, not even your dog will look at you. You don't get even the newspaper to read. Yes. So therefore, if you have no money, if you have no resources, if you have no income, nobody is going to respect you. You will fall in the estimation of others. So Chanakya knew that. He was a worldly wise person. People say you are the Machiavelli of India. No, Machiavelli was the Chanakya of Europe. Because Chanakya came much, much before than Machiavelli. So Chanakya talks about your need, the politician need to expand. You cannot be confined with this inverted triangle, which is India, truncated India. There is a truncated India. No, this politician must feel suffocated in this India. They must have some strategy to bring Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, Afghanistan into a common space, economic and political space, where ideas, people, movement, labor, ideas, capital, all can move. So that you can invest in, if you are from here, you can go anywhere in this country, in this boundary. And when India is strong, people will respect us. Now China is respected. Why? Because China had the geostrategic vision. China consolidated their country. Now China is inassailable now. Nobody can touch that country. Because they are controlling Tibet, as I told you. Those who control Tibet will control Asia. Those who control Asia will control the whole universe, the whole world. That's why China is trembling in front of, America is trembling in front of China now. India and China started with this on the same economic level in 1949 or 1948. China was poorer than India for that matter. Now where is China? China is 50 years ahead of us. In every field. You take any area, China is 10 times ahead of us. GDP, forex reserve, exports. Even I was recently reading Bangladesh is the second largest exporter of textiles in the world. Then I thought, who is the first person? China. The first is China. Second can be Bangladesh. India can be the largest exporter of textiles. We are very proud of our textile history. Why we fell down in the ladder? Why it happened? So we started from the same point. China has marched ahead. Whether Yeah, we can discuss that. Why? I'm not coming to that now. Why it is that? Why China marched ahead? Why India lagged behind? There are several factors. It's for you politicians to think. It is for you politicians to think, economists, politicians, thinkers, philosophers, people we have to think. We have to do a little hard work. Some homework is to be done. Why it happened? Why China leaped ahead? And why India lagged behind? We have to think about it. It's time for us. Even China, even now thinking of the future, the belt and the road policy, is thinking about 100 years ahead. We are only reacting, knee-jerk reaction. Neither we participate nor we say anything. America is with them, Japan is with them, Korea is with them, Russia is with them, Pakistan, of course, because Pakistan is the lapdog of China. Everybody is there. The only country which is not participating is India. I am surprised. India should send a representative there and see what is happening at least. What is happening at least? A representative should go so they can study and they can position themselves, and the right time they can jump into the ship or jump out of the ship, which we are not doing. So we are all shying away from confronting the situation. So China is thinking ahead in the Belt and the Road initiative, investing huge amount of money because they have so much money in the war chest. They have about $3 trillion sitting. $3 trillion, a huge amount. What we have is only $300 billion. So theirs is 10 times more. So we have to go back to Chanakya. We have to regain our territory. So in this new Chanakya Chakravarti Kshetra, we have seen there will be 2.2 million square miles of land, and there will be 2 billion people, and will be 100 trillion GDP. This what my projection. 100 trillion GDP. Now our GDP is how much? Only 3 trillion. Not even 3. But China's 12 trillion. We started in the same place. China's GDP is 10 times more. China's per capita income may be 2-3 times more than India. So therefore, let us go back to Chanakya. Chanakya can give you cues how to build a new Indian state. And Chanakya not only talked about the Chakravarti Kshetra, he also talks about Sarva Dharma Samabhavana. He did not favor one particular religion. Either all religions are useful for me. He made use of one religion against another religion to be in the power. So he was a person who promoted Sarva Dharma Samabhavana, a kind of secularism, I should say. Our modern state should be based on secularism. It should not be a state just for the Hindus. That will be suicidal. But it should be a Hindu majority state. This new state, Chakravarti Kshetra, should be Hindu majority state, not just for the Hindus. If you are just for the Hindus, they will sleep. You need somebody to put fire under you. Some Muslims are necessary, some Christians are necessary, some atheists are necessary, so that healthy debate will go on. If there is no debate, that country is dead. So we need a difference. Difference is the meaning of life. If there is no difference, we will be sleeping there, we will not be challenged. So Chanakya believed in the Sarva Dharma Samabhavana. Chanakya gave importance to wealth and GDP. Because unfortunately, most of spiritual people say wealth is evil, isn't it? Mammon is demon. At the same time, somebody gives you 50,000, you happily pocket it, isn't it? Mammon is demon, but if somebody gives you some money, you will happily pocket it. And somebody borrows money from you and don't return, you think he will be your enemy. If you have no value for money, why should people return your money? You say there is no value for money. If there is no value for money, why do you demonize him? He said demon, why? He borrowed some money from me, he never returned it. But I thought you have no value for money. Now you have so much value for money. So therefore, money is important according to Chanakya. I think that is very practical. If you have money, then you can practice Dharma, you can practice spirituality. And hence, Chanakya's advice is to be taken seriously. Money is important. Arthamulau dharmakamo. For a politician, for an economist, it's a political matter, political economy. Politics and economics go together. Politics and religion may not go together. Religion only makes people fight. Because religion has got some unanalyzable, unreflectable position. My God and your God. In the name of God, people fight. It is unfortunate, unthinkable. We say we all are children of the same God. Then why are you fighting? But my God is different from your God. So we are not children of the same God. So fighting in the name of religion is ridiculous. There should be harmony in the name of religion. That's why I am apprehensive about the Hindutva ideology. Hindutva ideology, Hindu nationalism, that this nation only for the Hindus, others are aliens. I am a little uncomfortable with that position. You may disagree with me, I can disagree with you, let us agree to disagree. Let us continue this dialogue going on. India is for all Indians. All Indians can have different faiths, different gods. That is the very spirit of Hinduism, isn't it? The very spirit of Hinduism is Egam Sattva Vipraha Bahudha Vadanti. Truth is one, people can worship that in different ways. You can say truth is Rama, Krishna, Govinda, Allah, whatever. Whatever way you want to say it. So therefore, religion should lead to harmony and peace rather than violence and cutting each other's throats. So Chanakya was for religious harmony and Sarva Dharma Samabhavana. He was for wealth. And so let us take Chanakya and try to explore. This is what I have been doing the last 4 days. And I also gave you some ideas for thinking, some guiding theories, guiding ideas. What are the guiding ideas for the future of India? India should be a secular democracy. We can debate on that, no problem. We can nuance on that idea. But let me give you something to chew about. India should be a secular democracy. Secondly, we saw India should be a market economy, competitive market economy. Of course, market economy has its own problems. But that is the worst form of that's the best form of all the worst systems, as they say. Everything has got its own problem. Market economy has problem, socialist economy has problem, capitalist economy has problem, communist economy has problem. Everything has got problem. Of all these economies, the best is competitive market economy. Let individuals compete in the market to get resources. So the resources are allocated through the process of competition, not for inheritance, not because you belong to a particular religion. Suppose you are a Hindu, I am a Hindu, but if you give me a shoddy project, will I buy it? Because you are a Hindu and you give me very, very bad product, will I buy it? I will go to the Muslim who gives me a better product, isn't it? If you are a good Hindu, intelligent Hindu. An intelligent Hindu will buy a product which is cheaper and qualitatively good. Otherwise you can go, oh, he is my Hindu brother, let me buy from him. That's not going to survive. That kind of idea will not survive for long. So therefore, we have to have competitive market economy. That is the second proposition. Third proposition was that we need a good governance, less government and good governance. Maximum governance, less government. Government is the problem, as somebody said. More government and more government. It creates more and more problem. So that's the third proposition. The fourth proposition shows the public discourse should be guided by reason, not by passion or faith. Public discourse should be guided by reason, science, evidence. So therefore, when somebody brings a data for public discourse, you should seek the evidence for that. Is it true? Because nowadays there is a lot of toxic data going on in the internet. Most of our discussions are guided by toxic data, not authentic data. Whatever you see internet, please don't believe in all that. People are putting out there in the internet. And if you keep on debating and discussing things based on those data, you will arrive at wrong conclusions. So therefore, we should always see the veracity of the data, which is very, very important. These days I see people don't see the veracity of data. They simply take the data, it's all wrong data, and then you analyze it, then you create conclusions. So somebody killed a cow somewhere. Immediately you go take up a weapon, go to your neighbor Muslim and kill him. Did he really kill a cow? Even he go on inquiring, no, he did not kill a cow, he killed a mosquito. Isn't it? That famous theory. The statement goes, oh, somebody vomited 2 buffaloes. 2 buffaloes in his vomit. Then I asked him, did you see that? No, I didn't see. My neighbor told me. Who is that neighbor? Let me know. He is so and so. I went to him. Did you see somebody vomiting 2 buffaloes? No, it is not 2 buffalo, it is only 1 buffalo. Okay, did you see that 1 buffalo in the vomit? No. Who told you? This person told me. I go to him. Did you see somebody vomiting 1 buffalo? Not 1 buffalo, it was only a crow. Did you see that? I didn't see, my neighbor told me. Then I go to him. Did you see somebody vomiting a crow? Actually, it was not a crow, it was only a black spot in his vomit. By the time the story passes on from one person to another person, 1 black spot becomes 2 buffaloes. If the story travels more, it will be 3 buffaloes, it will be an elephant, and so on and so forth. So we must have the patience the veracity of the data is very, very important. They talk about the velocity, the volume, the variety, and the veracity of the data. Veracity means the truthfulness of the data is very, very important, because anything which leads you to violence, we must think twice. Is that data true or not? So therefore, the scientific, rational discussion, our public discourse should be guided by reason and scientific evidence. Otherwise, if you discover discussions are guided by passion and simple faith and simple rumor, then there will be calamity. That is the third thing. Let public discourse be guided by reason, not simply by passion.
Or that media is also responsible.
Media is responsible. Media is responsible because we those salacious news we enjoy. You see, if some good news is no news anyway. Bad news is big news. So therefore, the people enjoy such news. If people don't enjoy, then media will not put out those news. So I will blame you and me, not the media. Media is only serving what you need. If you need this, they'll media. Politicians also do the same thing. Don't blame the politicians. Politicians are serving what you need. If you need junk food, the shops will deliver that, isn't it? If you need healthy food, they will bring healthy food. Why Pepsico is bringing healthy food now? Because there is an awareness now. Earlier it was Coke and all that. Now they give you good juice, fruit juice and all that. So as the demand, so the supply. So the third principle I am advancing is, let public discourse be guided by reason and scientific evidence. Toxic-free data. And the fourth principle I advanced was, what was that? The fourth principle. Yeah? So third, this was fourth? Okay, this was fourth. The fifth principle is individual freedom and rule of law. Not law of the ruler. Not rule of law. Not rule of the law of the ruler. So the rule of law should guide public behavior and contact. So individual should be free to discover his destiny, to create his destiny. Nobody should have the right to impose his ideas on another individual. You have an idea, you work out that idea, and you create your own destiny. So we need such powerful people who know their mission, their passion, their destiny, then to have the freedom to create their own destiny, but guided by the rule of law. There should be some rule, otherwise, everybody will be at each other's throat. These are the 5 propositions I made for a discussion. Now today, I would like to take the discussion to another level. And I have a new proposition. So sorry for using the word I all the time, which is not generally ever, but there is no other way but to formulate a sentence. So if I say we, you will ask who are the we? Don't include me in your ideas. So therefore, I am compelled to say I. I take responsibility. What you are saying. We means who? We don't want to be partner to all this thing. So the proposition is globalize Hinduism and secularize India. Globalize Hinduism and secularize India. Because Hinduism cannot be the prisoner of a geography. Because then we lose our appeal to the global audience. So we want to take Hinduism outside the boundary of India. As Hindu Sindhu Paryanta Yasya Bharata Bhumiga. We want to take it outside and put it out into the wider world. That kind of Hinduism we need, so that Hindus live not only in India, Hindus live all over the world. There are Hindus in Fiji, there are Hindus in South Africa, there are Hindus in Mauritius, there are Hindus in UK, there are Hindus in United States, there are Hindus all over. Hindus are the largest diaspora in the world. Chinese say we are the largest diaspora, but Hindus say we are the largest diaspora. Diaspora outside, people who live outside the country. We are the largest NRIs, diaspora in the world. And that gives us strength. If some issues comes, people are talking all over the world. So we have to take Hinduism outside the confines of India, which we are doing. Swami is like, we are doing that. We are going all over the world, preaching Hinduism and attracting people, and sometimes they want to live the Hindu way of life, not only the Hindu view of life. So when we say Hinduism, there are 2 aspects to Hinduism. There is a view of life, there is a way of life. The view of life has got universal appeal. You can say it anywhere in the world. But the way of life depends upon how you apply that view in a particular geographical area. The way of life has got a history. The way of life is confined to a particular geographical area. Because a Hindu in India has a particular lifestyle. But a Hindu in America has another lifestyle. A Hindu is in China will have a different lifestyle. Hindu in China may not drink milk because there are no cows in China. Chinese don't drink milk. It's very surprising, isn't it? Indians cannot live without cow and milk. China cow, there are not many cows. Maybe they might have eaten all the cows, we don't know. There are no dogs, there are no cows, there are no snakes, there are no mosquitoes, there are no cockroaches, nothing. Why they eat everything. Anything crawls, they'll eat. Anything runs, they will eat. So that is China. So there is no milk. They don't drink milk. That is China's. They don't wear gold. They wear jade. We cannot live without gold. Every day we'll have to do arati to gold, isn't it? Every day you open the locker, the gold is there, we are happy. So that's our idea. A lot of gold is sitting in India. India is one of the richest countries in terms of gold. If we monetize all that gold, India can be one of the richest countries in the world. It's all sitting there. Dead investment. We don't know how to monetize. We don't know how to bring it out to the market. We don't know how to make money out of gold. We are only worshipping gold. Because we don't have that spirit. We are so insecure people. We don't want to invest and take money. We want to put all the money in a plastic bag and put it under our bed. That is what we are doing. We are risk-averse people. Not only we are risk-averse, we don't trust each other. That is why I find a lot of apartments are lying vacant, a lot of people are sleeping on the road, but demand is there, supply is there, but there is no liquidity. Liquidity means trust. If I give you my apartment, I must trust you that when I want it, you will give me back. Here, does it happen? Once I give you my apartment, you become the owner of that. If I come back and ask you, give me my apartment back, which apartment, what apartment, who are you, they'll say. Then they'll take you to the Supreme Court or the court. The court will keep on delaying. 30 years. Your apartment is gone. So there is no liquidity. Liquidity is mutual trust, not just money. We must be a high trusting society. Everywhere it is there, any developed countries. You go for an apartment, you show your card, they will give you it. Because they know whenever they want, they can take it back. And you will voluntarily give. You don't even think of not vacating. That culture, the trust is there. So this is one of our problems. So the way of life and the view of life is different. So Hindus have a way of life which is confined to, determined by the territory, the landscape and the climate and the food that you grow here and our history, etc. determine our way of life. So we cannot insist our way of life on all Hindus all over the world. When Hindus spread apart, the view of life remains the same, but the way of life can change. So generally Hinduism is defined as a way of life, which is not right. There is a view of life and there is a way of life. So the view of life I will call Sanatana Dharma. The way of life can be called Varnashrama Dharma. Let us put it that way. I'm just trying to find some words. There is Varnashrama Dharma and then Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma gives you the view of life. Varnashrama Dharma gives you the way of life. Way of life is predicated by the circumstances of the country, the climate and all that. Determined by that. It can change. Hindus' way of life can change. Earlier we used to wear dhoti in a certain way, isn't it? Now I don't see anybody wearing dhoti. 50 years ago, if you go to Gujarat, everybody wear dhoti and that big cumbersome headgear, isn't it? Now nobody is wearing that. Why? Sometimes I see, old people wearing a totally different kind of dress. Nowadays, we don't. We only carry the old names. Lohia, Sony, this and that, old names. But we don't behave the same way. Our behavior is different. Because Varnashrama Dharma can change. It is subjected to change. Sanatana Dharma is not subject to change. So it is the Sanatana Dharma we are preaching to the world, not Varnashrama Dharma. Varnashrama Dharma is almost collapsed now. Varnashrama Dharma is based upon Varna, Ashrama and Jadi. Of course, even now marriage is determined by Jadi, isn't it? We don't think as one Hindu, one family. If Hindus are all one, why don't you marry your son to another caste? A boy belonging to another caste, your daughter marrying him, or he marrying to a girl belonging to another caste. Why don't we do that? We say we are Hindus. Maybe there is some reason why these caste structures have come. I have an idea about that which I am not going to tell you now. So there is some reason why the caste structures have come. It is because of the theory of inclusion. In Western religion, if you disagree with them, they will chop your head off. They are exclusivist people. In our country, if you disagree with me, I'll tell you, I don't want to eat from your house. I don't want to marry my daughter to your son. I don't want to take water from your house. But I am not going to kill you. So keep your identity, and I allow you to keep your identity so that you allow me to keep my identity, so two jadis come. So it is because of the inclusivist and non-violent nature, we nurtured the caste practices. Otherwise, we'll have to go violent. If you disagree with me, I'll kill you. Exclusivist philosophy. So Hinduism may continue to have caste, but let us not have caste-based discrimination. Caste-based discrimination should be avoided. Caste cannot be avoided. Because caste is based upon the principle of non-violence and inclusion. If you don't have inclusion, then you may have to fight. Because then the other is a danger. Other may pollute my family. Other may is a danger for me. I cannot tolerate. But with the caste system, you will be able to tolerate the other. So the very logic of non-violence and inclusion says the caste system may continue, but we can avoid the discrimination based on caste. All caste will have the... See, most of the names, Lakadiwala, Dudwala, these are all profession, vocation-based name. Lakadiwala, Dudwala, Paniwala, Nariyalwala, Lakadwala, all kind of walas are there. All kind of things are there wherever you go in India. Even the Brahmin, there are many castes. There are Pandey, there is Sharma, there is Tripadi, there is Divedi, there is Trivedi, there is Chadurvedi, there is Egavedi, there is Avedi. All kind of Vedis are there. No, these present-day Brahmins are Avedis because they don't know any Veda. Chadurvedi means 3 Vedas. Divedi means 3 Vedas. Trivedi means 3 Vedas. Divedi means 2 Vedas. Vedi means 1 Veda. Avedi means no Veda. That is the modern Brahmins. So this way, we have this kind of caste system. Caste system per se is not a problem. The problem is when I look down upon you. If you are a smith, if you are an ironsmith or a goldsmith, I look down upon you. Because I have the possession of the Veda, I am superior to you. So this kind of a divide between the head and the hand was the reason for India's downfall. You have to integrate the head and the hand. Wherever the hand is, there should be the head. The head should respect the hand should respect the head, isn't it? The stomach should respect the brain should respect the heart should respect the lungs. All of them should respect the kidney, isn't it? If there is no mutual respect and cooperation, the whole body politics will collapse. So that kind of an organic view is necessary. So difference is not a problem. Division is the problem. My nose is different from my toe. They are different. But nose and toe belong to the same person. You cannot say, I don't mind if you stamp on my toe, but you touch my nose, I will show you my true nature. Can you say that? Your nose and the toe belongs to you. Both of them are important to you. If the toe suffers, you, the whole being, suffer. You don't get sleep that day. So that kind of holistic vision is very important when you think of caste. So caste discrimination is to be avoided. Caste we may not be able to avoid because of our non-violent inclusive principles. So the Varnashrama Dharma, which is one definition of Hindu. Who is a Hindu? A Hindu is defined as one who practices Varnashrama. Varna means Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Division of the society based upon the proclivity and profession. Every society it is there. The only thing is that in India it is by birth, but other society it is by competition. In India, doctor's son is supposed to be a doctor. In America or Europe it's not like that. Doctor's son may be a barber. And they are proud about that. It's only in America I find, what is your father? My father is a barber. They will say, who are you? I am a doctor. Here a doctor will never say, my father is a barber. He owns a saloon, they will say. He owns a saloon. He will make it a little appealing, isn't it? So he wouldn't say, my father is a barber. He is ashamed of saying, my father is a barber or a plumber. But you must have respect for all kind of work, labor. Without a plumber, you cannot live. Without a barber, you will become a barbarian, isn't it? So therefore, these are very, very important. You don't understand. So the Varnashrama Dharma based upon the 4 types of professions, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, all are important. And so too, human life is divided into 4 stages, Brahmacharya, Garhastya, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa. That's a very beautiful ideal. At 75, you should take sannyas, you should retire and leave other space for other people. Here you never retire, isn't it? And the other people have to push you out. Yes, yes. So therefore, you should say, yes, enough is enough. Later, you can spend your time in higher purposes. So that way, human life is ordered, society is organized, as varnashrama dharma. But the problem is it is all by birth. You have to change that. It should be by competition. Who can decide you are a Brahmin? You are a Brahmin, I will put you to Vedic study or some study, maybe medicine, who can do research, who can do teach, they are Brahmin. Not because you are son of a Brahmin. It's a cultural trait, not a genetic, you cannot inherit it genetically. You should deserve it. So it should be through competition. The Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra division should be decided by competition. And the whole population must have access to that competition. When Bhaktiar Khilji attacked Nalanda, there were 10,000 students and 2,000 teachers, 200 soldiers, Mohammedan soldiers could overpower them. Because all the peasants were working outside. They thought Kshatriya should come and fight. Unfortunately, there was no Kshatriya around at that time. So, because of this kind of a caste or a birth-based division of varnashrama, you couldn't mobilize the whole people. Mobilization is not possible. Mobilization is only for a few pockets of people. So, therefore, people were denied the opportunity to express their talent. So, what we need is, in the democratic, competitive marker system, everybody has access to become a Brahmin or a Kshatriya or a Vaishya or a Shudra, and all jobs are equally respected also. So your choice of becoming a doctor or a plumber or a professor or a plumber is not determined by the respect for the job, it is determined by your talent. If you have affinity towards becoming a plumber, you become a plumber. It is equally respectful as a professor's job. Whether you are a brain surgeon or a barber, determined by your affinity towards the job. If you are a good barber, even Bill Clinton, president, will come to you, isn't it? If you are a lousy brain surgeon, even your wife will not come to you. Because he will spoil my brain, isn't it? So therefore, it is very important that we have to make it competitive. That's very, very important. So this varnashrama dharma is based upon the location, the territory, the climate, and all that. But our Sanatana dharma has appealed to the whole world. So what is Sanatana dharma is the question. Varnashrama dharma we understood. What is Sanatana dharma? So when I say globalize Hinduism, what I mean is globalize Sanatana dharma, not Varnashrama dharma. Pardon? Equality. So what is varnashrama? There is one definition of varnashrama dharma. Ahimsa satyam-akrodaha tyagamedacha dushchayam ajada shatru sevasva dharmamedas sanadanaha. Ahimsa satyam-akrodaha tyagamedacha dushchayam ajada shatru sevasva dharmamedas sanadanaha. Sanatana dharma is based upon this principle. Ahimsa, satyam, akrodam, tyagam. This is what we are preaching the whole world, not only to Indians. Indians alone practice it, others will be happy. Indians are practicing ahimsa, so we can go and attack them. Indians are practicing tyagam, so let us go and grab them from them. It is not for just one community. It must have a global consensus on these values. Today, we are talking about environmentalism. The environmentalism, now it is imposed upon the developing society. The developed society has already polluted the environment. Now if we impose that idea on the developing society will remain underdeveloped all the time. Therefore, there should be a global consensus about this. Ahimsa, that we are human beings, we are children of the same God. Whether we are Muslim, Christian or atheist or theist, let us practice ahimsa. Let us not get at each other's throat. Especially in the modern world, when you have huge stockpiles of atom bombs, a war is unthinkable. If you are not crazy, war is unthinkable, impossible, impractical, and it will not happen, I guarantee. There cannot be a nuclear war as long as human beings remain sane. If you go insane, anything can happen. So therefore, war is, that's what we learned from Mahabharata. What was the end of Mahabharata? There was only 3 people on the Kaurava side and 7 people on the Pandava side. The rest are all brutally murdered. So the lesson from Mahabharata is war is not a solution for human problems. That is the lesson from Mahabharata. That's the lesson from Mahabharata. So similarly, today war is not possible, it is not desirable, that fourth world war will not be there. There is nobody to fight. Only mosquitoes will be, not cockroaches will be there. Somebody said, after the Third World War, only cockroaches and Indians will remain. Because Indian can live in any condition, he says. You put him anywhere, he will survive. Isn't it? So therefore, cockroaches also like that. The most ancient creature is cockroaches. They are the greatest survivor. So the Sanatana Dharma should have a consensus from the global powers. Otherwise it cannot be practiced in isolation. This is what the mistake of Gandhi. Gandhi thought you can practice it in the geographical limit of India. Everybody was happy because non-violence, renunciation, satyam, always truth. So how much money you have, immediately volunteer. Very easy to come to your house and take it, isn't it? So truth, non-violence, ahimsa, no krodha, you are not angry with anybody. Whatever you say, you smile. I say you are an idiot, you smile. Isn't it? So therefore, when you practice this principle in a limited territory, it is a big fish in a small pond. It's not possible. So you have to create a global consensus about it. Then alone it will work. So therefore, we Hindu sannyasis have to go all around the world, preach the same thing, not just to Indians. Not just to Indians. We have to preach it to Chinese. We have to preach to Saudi Arabia. We have to preach to Americans. We have to preach this principle to Russia. We have to preach this principle all across the world. Sannyasis should go across the world and preach this message of Sanatana Dharma. Not Varnashrama Dharma. Not our way of life, but our view of life. Not Hindutva. Hindutva is confined to India. Hindutva you cannot preach to Americans. Hindutva is confined to India. It's not Hindutva, but what we are preaching is Hindu Dharma. And the Dharma is not Varnashrama Dharma, but it's Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma we have to preach all over the world. This is what Swami Vivekananda did. Swami Vivekananda in 1893, when he got that 5 minutes to speak, brothers and sisters of America, only Hindu can say that. A Muslim cannot say that. Brothers and sisters, you cannot say. Hindu can say brothers and sisters, because Muslim also is brother and sister. He worships God in a different way. I worship God in a different way. Doesn't matter. That doesn't create a division between us. Egam sat vipraha bahuda vadante, isn't it? So therefore we are comfortable with a Muslim who worship God in one way, comfortable with a Buddhist who worship God in another way, comfortable with a Christian who worship God in another way. That is why Swami Vivekananda had the heart to say brothers and sisters of America. America was stunned when they heard this address. They were stunned. They clapped for half an hour, they say. Swamiji spoke only 5 minutes, but the ovation was for half an hour. They couldn't stop. They were hearing it for the first time. Not superficially, but from a view of life. He spoke that. And he also asked them, don't be Cooperman Dugas. Don't live in your little wells. Come out of that little spaces and come to the open space. Let us shake hands. Let us talk to each other. Let us sit down. Let's not try to convert people, but let us engage in conversation with people. Swami said, no conversion, but conversation. Recently I had a story about conversion. This 100 years ago, the Europeans went to Africa with a book, the Bible. After 100 years of interaction, African got the book, European got the land. Good trade-off, isn't it? African got the book and European got the land. So one of these, African became wise. So the priest goes and converts an African, sprinkles some water on him, and says, from today onwards you are a Christian. Today onwards you are a Christian. And when you convert, they put some restrictions. Restrictions are very important in conversion. Don't eat this, don't do that, don't do this. Africans are fond of bush meat. Bush meat means pigs, small pigs. They are very fond of that. So the Christian priest said, tomorrow onwards don't eat bush meat. You can eat fish, no problem. But no bush meat. After 1 year he comes. He comes and he wants to visit his disciple. He went there. What does he see? He is eating bush meat. So he got angry. Didn't I tell you should not eat bush meat? He said, yes, but I am not eating bush meat. What are you eating? I am eating fish, but this is bush meat. No, I sprinkled some water and said this is fish. By sprinkling some water, you don't get converted. You still are the same person. So conversion is a illogical thing. Therefore, now Christians are getting converted. They are using Hindu symbols now. They are using Hindu symbols. They are wearing clothes like Sannyasis, Christian priests. In the temple, in their churches, they have this the flag mast. The flag, to raise the flag, they have a mast. They are in only Hindu temples you see that. And Christ is sitting in a lotus, my God. I thought Christ is on the cross. Now Christ is sitting on the lotus.
Yes, the yoga was given by Christ.
Yes. So this way Christian yoga now. Christian meditation, Christian yoga and all those things. So who is getting converted to whom? They are getting converted to our ideas. So therefore my point was, you have to go around and preach this ideology. We are not trying to change their lifestyle. We are trying to change their view of life. What is the view of life? We should have a non-violent atmosphere, whether you can admire and love each other. We are telling the whole world, not to just Indian. So I must have the courage to go to Saudi Arabia and preach this. They may put me in jail. They may torture me. But I am a true Hindu. I must have the freedom and the courage and the risk to go to all over the world, China, Saudi Arabia, everywhere, and say we are brothers, we are children of the same God. Let us love each other. Let us not convert. Let us engage in conversation. Let us include rather than exclude. This is what Hindus should do. Hindus should globalize themselves instead of getting confined to their own little territories, little history. We have to get out of the history into the land of mystery. That is what we should do. That kind of courage we need. So Swami Vivekananda did it, and he faced problems there. When he said this, he faced a problem because he criticized Christianity from the fortress of Christianity. America was a highly Christian country, even today. If you say anything about Christ or criticize Bible, and they will become uneasy. They don't like it. They can criticize Hindus, no problem. that Kali is a demon, that Hindus are cow worshippers. When I first went to America, they asked me, do you worship cows? So I asked them, do you eat cows? For me, eating cow is problematic than worshipping cows. For them, cows are to be eaten. For us, cows are to be worshipped. And how long this will go, I don't know, because cows are all roaming around now. Economically, how sound it is, we have to discuss now. This cow worship economically is, I have an ashram where cows and bulls are there. I don't know what to do with the bulls. 2 bulls, they are attacking everybody. They are just the bulls. You don't know what to do. So I suggested to them, why don't you sell it? He said, Swami, how can you say that? If you sell it, they will butcher it. But what will I do with the bulls? They cannot be used for plowing. Plowing is not there. What is the purpose of a bull now? The bulls are all roaming around. So there is the economics of cow protection is to be looked into. Hindus have to sit and look into that. What is the economics of that? What is the artha of that? What is the outcome of that? We should be open-minded in that discussion. Let us not blindly say, worship the cow. Cow is a symbol for worshipping all animals, because all these animals are necessary. Even a mosquito is necessary for our survival. If you kill all the mosquitoes, then it will disturb the biological rhythm. So therefore, we have to open up this subject. Is it economically sound? Is it economically viable? Can you protect all these cows which are not yielding anything? Who will feed them? Who will protect them? Now there's army people, retired army people, they have better things to do. They may not come and, some army people may do that, but don't impose it on them. They already serve the country. Now you ask them to protect the cows also. They would rather go to Kashmir and protect Kashmir. Think about it. Just asking you to think about it. So this idea of Sanatana Dharma is to be propagated. Vivekananda did it. Don't be Cooperman Dugas. Before Vivekananda, Shankaracharya did it. What is the idea? What does Vedanta say? What does Advaita Vedanta say? Advaita Vedanta says, we all are the same Atman, isn't it? You have an Atman in you, I have an Atman in me. These Atmans are the same, they are not different. They are like space in different pots. Just as space in different pots, your Atma, my Atma are the same. And Atma is consciousness. Atma is not material, matter. Atman is consciousness, in the light of which you are able to aware your thoughts. That is the definition of Atma. What is Atman, people ask. What is Atman? Atman is consciousness, in the presence of which you are able to aware your thoughts, your existence. You are able to aware the world. That Atman, that consciousness we are. Our body and the mind are just bubbles that arise in that consciousness. So how many Atmans are there? Egam Sat, one Atma. There are not many Atma. And then Vedanta goes one more step further. That Atman has become the whole universe. The whole universe of matter and energy. The universe of matter and energy is an expression of their Atman, the flowering of that Atman. So the material world is not other than the spirit. The spirit itself flowers as the material world. There is no division between matter and the spirit. Generally people think matter is different from the spirit, isn't it? Matter means your body, your mind, your ego, all these are matter and the world outside. These are all made up of 5 elements. 5 elements are made up of 3 gunas. 3 gunas is only a disturbance in that oceanic consciousness. The whole universe is a disturbance in consciousness. It is Chidvilasam. This is what Vedanta says. It's a very ennobling philosophy, where there is no duality between matter and the spirit. So to be a spiritual person means you have to be actively involved in the material world. What is our idea of spirituality? I am a spiritual person, Swami, don't disturb me. I will open my mouth only thrice a day. Breakfast, lunch and dinner. The rest of the things you have to do for me. That is not Vedantic spirituality. Vedantic spirituality is ask you to actively involve with the world. Active engagement with the world. Because the world is your own production. The world is your own production for your own self-expression. The world is your own flowering. The only problem with the world is, it's like a flower. It blooms in the morning and it fades in the evening. That's the nature of the world. Your body is like that. It was born 50 years ago, it will be not there after 60 years or 50 years. There's a beginning and an end and a middle. Your thoughts are like that. Your ego is like that. Your ego is also like that. It blooms and it fades later. In deep sleep, you have no ego. In front of your guru, your ego is little suppressed, isn't it? In front of your shishya, your ego is different. Your ego is very flexible and fluid. It doesn't have any clear identity. You can play with it. You can be very humble like Hahnemann in front of Sita. When Hahnemann met Sita, he is very humble, little monkey. But when he met Ravana, my God, he rounded his tail and made an asana for him, and Ravana had to look up to Hahnemann. Wherever it is necessary, you can show your canna into it. Wherever it is not needed, you can fold it back. This is the ego's function. So don't drop your ego. You only manage your ego. If you drop your ego, you become a doormat. Even with reference to your spousal relationship, the wife should not drop her ego, so that the husband has to be always on his toe. Always have to engage her, challenge her, inspire her. And she has to inspire him. Then alone there will be joyousness in life. Otherwise it will be a monotonous, routine life, bored with each other. Two old couple, very old. They were sitting in the garden, and the man was telling honey, sweetheart and all that. Old lady. The young man was very much impressed. After so many years of marriage, still sweet words. So he went and asked me, how did you maintain this kind of a cordial relationship? Honey, sweetheart and all that. No, the matter is, I have forgotten her name. This is a generic words, so I am using those words. That is the kind of relationship he says. So you have to challenge each other. Don't give up your identity. Your identity is very, very important. Don't make yourself a piece of furniture so that people can move around you. You must have your own identity. Whether it is a parent-children relationship, or a spousal relationship, or a citizen-leader relationship, they should challenge each other so that they can bring out the best, and there can be a spiral of innovative solutions and creative actions possible. So Vedanta says, essentially you are that spirit of infinite possibilities. Your spirit is a field of infinite possibilities. Yes? No, Bhagavad Gita doesn't say that. Bhagavad Gita says, Arjuna, I have told you whatever I have to say. Now yadhechasi tata guru, you do as you choose to do. Bhagavan did not say, do as I said. Idam te jnanamakhyadam gukhyat gukhyatamam maya. Edad vimrishya. Analyze it. Think for yourself. Asheshena, totally. Yadhechasi tata guru. Do as you choose to do. And be responsible for your action. Don't blame me. You told me to fight, now I fought. You told me to fight the election, I ran for it, I lost it, now I am blaming you. Don't blame me. I am only giving a suggestion. The decision is yours, and you must feel responsible for whatever decision you have taken. Be an adult, he says. Be an adult. Don't be a baby all the time. Mummy, what should I do? Don't be a baby. You are an 80-year-old man, or you are a 24-year-old young adult. Take up responsibility. Own up yourself. Be confident. So Bhagavad Gita does not say give up your ego. Bhagavad Gita says use your ego intelligently. If you don't have ego, then somebody will manipulate you. You will be reducing yourself to status of a piece of furniture. So don't quote Bhagavad Gita for your own inefficiencies. Isn't it? So therefore, for my own inefficiency, I am quoting Bhagavad Gita. Don't do that. Krishna said, Tasmad uttishta govande yuddhaya krita nishchaya. And when you fight, you must think you are going to win. Don't say I am going to lose. If you go to the war field thinking that I will lose, you will lose. If you think I will win, you will win. Isn't it? And not only that, you have to win the war, you have to enjoy the victory. Tasmatam uttishta yasholabasva jitto shatrun bhungsha rajyam samruddham maya eva yede nihida purvameva nimitta matram bhava sabhisajin. You fight to win, enjoy the victory, and share your victory with others. Other stakeholders. You have to share your victory. That is what Bhagavan says. Bhagavan did not say lose the war. Fight and lose the war. For that, you should know how to fight, isn't it? You should know where you stand. You should know what are you fighting for. These are all expressions of ego. Yes. Yes, Sharanagati means be an instrument. No. Where what he says is, you have to become an instrument of the Lord. Instrument of the Lord means you must connect yourself to the divine purpose. That's what the idea. Meaning you should serve your interest while you are serving the interest of the whole. You cannot serve your interest when you don't serve the interest of your organization. Serving your interest is inalienably related to serving the interest of the organization. That is why Bhagavan says, connect your purpose with my purpose. Because I think for the whole world. So whenever you think for yourself, you should not think in isolation. You should think that while you serve your purpose, are you serving the purpose of others also? Otherwise they will go against you. That is what ego is. That is what I said. You accept your ego, you accept others' ego also. When you recognize the ego of the other, then you are egoless. Our problem is I don't recognize the other person's ego. He should be serving me and I should be the master. That cannot work. If you want to be the master, I also want to be the master. So two masters coming together, there will be real competition, isn't it? Then they will challenge each other. Yes.
Guruji, Bhagavan says that meri marzi ke bina patta bhi nahi hilta.
Yes.
I decide everything that happens in the universe. Then there is also the theory of karma, that whatever action you do, there is a consequence of that. So what is the truth? So if I murder somebody, then isn't that God's will? Was it not predetermined?
Do you think God wants you to murder somebody?
It's just an example.
So therefore don't murder. Don't say I murdered somebody, my God. You already decided you are going to murder. If you want to know what is God's will, you have to think, reflect, does God want me to murder? Does God wants to murder anybody? You already concluded I am murdering, and then you are blaming God.
No, so that applies to the good karmas also. So if I'm doing something good for somebody, that is also God's will.
Yeah. So you can do only good, not bad. If you really think, why should you do bad? Is it going to help you? Is it going to help another person? So you have already concluded I am capable of doing bad. That conclusion is the problem. You understand that you are Satchidananda. How can there be some bad thing come out of you? If you really reflect, cannot come. So therefore, engage in reflective action, not reaction. Don't blame God.
Is there a free will or is there a predetermined destiny?
So that's what I'm saying. What is predetermination? Predetermined means somebody has already decided what you should do, isn't it? Somebody has got to say. Who is that somebody? God, let us say. What is God's nature? God is Satchidanandam. So God cannot make you do bad things. If it is predetermined, who has determined it? God. Can God make you do bad things? No. So who is predetermining? Some devil? That means devil is more popular. If you say there is only God and God is Satchidanandam, God cannot do anything bad. So you say I am carrying out the will of God. So if you are carrying out the will of God, you will always do good things only. Think properly. This is all these questions we are not thinking properly. We have to think holistically. Then you understand you cannot do anything wrong. You are doing wrong because you are not thinking, you are not reflecting. If you reflect, you will do only right things. Because there is only, in Hinduism, there is no devil and God. In the Christian Western philosophy, Western religion, there is God here, there is devil here. And devil seems to have more control over us than God, poor God. We don't say that there is no devil, there is only God. Isn't it? There is no devil, there is no duality, there is only unity.
But from the level of Lord Vishnu, there was a birth of a divine and the devil from the years. Some epic story is that.
What is that?
From the level of Lord Vishnu, first person born was the Devatas and then
Earwax.
Manav from this.
Yeah, Vishnu was sleeping and you took out the earwax and then he put it on the ocean of milk and two creatures came out of that.
Epic story.
Yeah, epic story is there. The idea is that you create your own enemy. When you are sleepy, unconscious, actions, you create, the worst enemy is your own creation. That's the idea there. Madhu Kaidabha. Vishnu was sleeping. When you are sleeping, you do foolish things, isn't it? Even Vishnu will do foolish things. You are sleeping and you took this earwax, rolled it all in sleep, tossed it into the ocean because Vishnu is sleeping and that serpent which is floating in the ocean. So you tossed it. And that genetic material of Vishnu, that is Vishnu's genetic material. First cloning is happening there. And then he drank the milk and then swimming in the ocean and all that, he became very powerful to giants, Madhu and Kaidabha. Madhu Kaidabha fought with Vishnu, because they shook the lotus which is growing and Brahmaji got upset and Brahmaji cried and then Vishnu woke up. What is the hell going on here? He said these two monsters are creating problem and Vishnu had to fight with them. But Vishnu is fighting with his own creation. If you fight with your own son, it is a very bad situation, isn't it? You would rather lose the battle if you are fighting with your own son. Unless you are a very cruel father. So Vishnu started losing the battle and then Madhu Kaidabha thought, oh, we are winning. This poor old man is losing. So he said, I am not going to fight with you. So, but you put up a good fight, Madhu Kaidabha said. Old man, you put up a good fight. I am going to give you a boon. These two people said. Vishnu said, this is an opportunity. Okay, give me the boon. What is the boon? Give me the power to kill you. That is why Vishnu turned the table against them. So most of your enemies are your own creation. That's the message there. Be careful. All your unconscious acts coalesce to become your own enemy. Therefore, what is the message? Be alert all the time. That's the message. So let me come back to my thesis that there is only one Atman. That Atman becomes the entire universe. So that means the universe is your play field. It's a ground for you to express yourself. Therefore, as a Vedantin, you can become a politician, as a businessman, as a scientist, as a research person, but all you do as a play. You should not feel the gravitas, the heaviness about it. Do it as a play. Sukha-dukkhe same kritva labha labho jaya jayo. Victory and failure doesn't matter. From failure you learn, from success you try to improve on your success. So with that attitude, take the universe as a play. Like the whole world will be your arena. And when you play, it has got its own limitations. When you act in this world, you have to act as only a triguna, according to your prakriti. You act as your prakriti. And you can act only a certain field. So as an Indian, you have to act as an Indian. As a global person, you have to act as a global person. As a politician, you have to act as a politician. So your actions are restrained by your gunas, your prakriti. You cannot be everything, everywhere. You have to choose where to act, how to act. That choice is yours. And then put your heart and soul into that, according to your prakriti. If you go against your prakriti, then you will feel miserable. So, understand what is your prakriti, what are your strengths and weaknesses, where are you operating, what is your field of action. Depending on that, you chose what to do, what not to do. And then when you express your prakriti in interaction with the world, you will be able to get access to the spirit that you are. And the spirit will manifest. And joyously you can go about. That is what Vedanta says. That is what Shankaracharya said. That is what Vivekananda said. That is what Yajnavalkya said. That is what Lord Krishna said. And with that Vedantic vision, you can be a very effective player in the world. And you can be a successful person. And as you interact with the world, keeping your mind quiet, invoke your spirit. That invocation of the spirit I will call samadhi. I am giving a different definition for samadhi. Samadhi is not sitting cross-legged and close your eyes and shake your nose. That's not samadhi. Samadhi is while you are interacting with the world, keeping a calm mind, and with that calm mind you experience the reflection of the spirit. So all the choices you make as you interact with the world become channels of self-expression. That state is called samadhi. The other is not samadhi. Sitting in a puja room and if you see plastic bags on the road, go and pick it up. That is samadhi. That will give you better samadhi experience. Rather than sitting in the puja room and say Ram, 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 Ram. So you have to give a dynamic. That's why Bhagavan says, Sugarmana tam abhyarcha siddhim bindadi manavaha. The greatest worship is worshipping God with your work, your chosen field of activity. So worship God with your work. Serve God with your work, not with a flower. A flower you can pick up from your neighbor's garden. Or buy a fruit you can buy from the market. What you can uniquely give to the Lord is your unique prakriti and its expression. That is what you can uniquely give to the Lord. So make samadhi a dynamic experience, a continuous experience. Don't say I attained samadhi in 1950, April 1st. April 1st is a dangerous day. So samadhi is not an event. It is a process. It is a continuous experience. Navam, new experience. It is not repeatable. That kind of samadhi we are talking. Samadhi means samadhi. Mind is undisturbed while you are interacting with the world. When the mind is undisturbed while you are interacting with the world, the spirit reflects in that mind. And the spirit expresses through the choices that you make. Whether it's a business choice or a political choice or a theoretical choice, then you are in samadhi. Otherwise, that samadhi is jada samadhi. It's a useless samadhi, he says. But I am very old, I am not able to act in the world. I am 84, 94. Doesn't matter. Bhishma was 108. Bhishma was 108 when he was lying on the bed of arrows. He was lying on the bed of arrows, blood dripping, arrows poking him, the heat of the Kurukshetra, and the stench of the dead animals and the human beings, and the dust and the noise. Bhima is lying down, life is ebbing away. And he was 108. Then Arjuna, Krishna and Dharmavutara goes to him, Pidamaha, can you tell us few words, last words on Dharma? Bhishma said, sit down. And he gave 36,000 verses on Dharma. Arjuna thought, I should not have asked. Now the old man is not leaving me. So even at that time, while he is dying, he is so enthusiastic and energetic. He never said quits. This is samadhi. That is samadhi. Samadhi is a dynamic experience of creatively engaging in the world and invoking your spirit in newer and newer ways by the choices you make. So you can be a businessman and samadhi. Guru Nanak attained samadhi in a shop, isn't it? Guru Nanak attained samadhi in a shop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. He attained samadhi. So you can attain samadhi wherever you are. You can be an enlightened person wherever you are. At whatever age you are. Esha brahmi sthiti partha nainam prapya vimukhyadi. Sthitvasyam andakalebi Brahma-Nirvanam richadi. Even as the fag end of your life, with the retrospective effect, you can have this experience, he says. That is a samadhi. This is the message we have to give the world. This is Advaita Vedanta. This we can spread all around the world. And Varnashrama Dharma is peculiar to our country. That itself requires revisions and adjustments and all that. So let us think deeply about these issues. We have inheritors of a great tradition and culture, a culture of freedom and discussions and debate and self-renewal. We have enough resources within us to renew ourselves, to question ourselves. We don't have to be afraid of being questioned. If you stop asking questions, you stop growing, period. So let us challenge ourselves. And then let us grow together to the future. Thank you very much. Yes.
Next time when you come, can you give some discourses on that?
Of course. That's my speciality.
Essence of.
Yes, I can give you some discourse. Next time we will do that. Evening talk will be 5 questions of Arjuna. Arjuna asks 5 questions to Krishna and the Bhagavad Gita unfolds based on that. The next time we will have 5 questions of Arjuna, 5 talks. 5 questions, 5 talks. Done. Yes.
So friends, it is a 5 days of journey with Swamiji's very dynamic and new visionary ideas on the vision of India. We started from the independence heroes, Gandhis, Sardars, Nehrus, and so on and so forth. He analyzed so in a new way their success, what are the setbacks and what can be the future for the country in demographic way or political, economical way. It seems at times very utopian concepts, the kind of the Chakravarti Samrajya, to have the wider territory for the stronger country, Afghanistan or Balochistan or Tibet or Bangladesh, etc. But he rightly said that today he is giving us this fodder to churn in terms of the 5 principles, maxims that he has given on the basis, on foundation on which we can proceed, and more so he is spreading this news all across wherever he goes to the younger generations. And what is today utopian, maybe after the 5th, 6th generation in next 40, 50 years time, it can become the true vision for India and reality. What he has today, 5 days that he has churned the wisdom, he has thought about it with he being a voracious reader as a Vedantist and also as economist and expert in political science, is a blend of all that he has served, talked to us. And it was very refreshing experience for all of us with a wider, broader and deeper visions for the vision of India. Many thanks, Swamiji, for being with us. It's a new vision and new imagination and ideas began together. Thank you very much to all of you for sustained interest for these 5 years, and you have continued to come, listen to him and participate in this conversation on the vision of India. Thanks to our photographers and those who have made this program success, 5 days, those administrative staff, ZMA. Many thanks. Thank you very much. Yeah, looking forward again for Swamiji to come here and take a still further benefit to us. Okay. Thank you very much.
Are you giving those books?
Yes, yeah. Let's all of you take this a prasadi of book from the AMA, Swamiji's book published by AMA. One by one, stand in a queue and please collect it.